So, let me tell you about the time I was on TV. It was 2006, I believe. Yeah, 2006. So let me tell you about the time I was on TV. I went to Iraq 2004. So that was what? 11 years ago? No, what the fuck am I thinking? It was 21 years ago. My math was a little off. Excuse me. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a math guy, okay? Don't judge me. So I went to Iraq 2004. I was at Asad Air Force Base. And on this particular day, so I worked at night, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So on this particular night, me and the guys, we was walking to the tent for our night shift. And you know how when you walk outside and you just feel the air, you feel the difference in the air. You know it's a storm or something is coming. So we're walking towards the tent and you feel it in the air. And then off in the distance, the sky is just looking really weird. So as we get closer to our building where we worked at, the sky was moving. And everything from the sky to the ground was moving. And next thing you know, we were engulfed by a sandstorm. I don't remember I don't know the technical name for it, but they called it a Haboob over there. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, so we get to the building and, the sand is coming. You can feel it in the air. Like you feel this really cool breeze and it starts getting dark. So the sun is pretty much washed out. The sun is gone. And it's starting to get darker and darker and darker. It's like when you have a thunderstorm coming, a real bad thunderstorm, and you feel that cool breeze, you see the clouds coming in, you feel that. And so the next thing we know, it's sand everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And it's on everything. It just covered everything. And from that moment on, I was terrified for my life. My entire life flashed before my eyes because we did not know what was going to happen. And so, after it was all over, sand was everywhere in the building that we worked. Just everywhere. And then when, we was all night, we was just bugging. We was bugging out because of how much sand was everywhere. So we did our shift, but mind you, the sandstorm shut down all operations. Nothing was moving, like nothing. Not even the insurgents. Nobody was moving. So the next day, we get off at 7 a.m. We go to the dining facility. We go have breakfast. Then we get back to our tent because back when I was over there, we stayed in tents. That was before they had the trailers and all that fancy stuff over there. So we get back to our tent and the sand was on our bunks about that thick. It's about half an inch thick maybe. Sand was everywhere. Like we had to shake our stuff out. Like we had sand everywhere. Then, we started telling people back home and all this stuff and whatever. And then I had been seeing people online at the time saying, it was fake. Somebody doctored the photos, blah, 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 blah. So in the meantime of me responding to comments on these blogs and stuff, this crew reached out to me about doing an interview. And I was like, yeah, I'm down for that. You know, so I told them around the time that I would be back stateside, and, you know, lo and behold, met up with them, and, you know, they told me what kind of questions they were going to ask, and I had someone there so that, you know, they didn't ask too many operational questions or whatever the case may be. They tried to ask a few questions, but I didn't answer them. But yeah, they recorded that, and then a couple of months later, I see myself on TV. It was a show called Full Force Nature. So they sent me a copy of a CD of the show. I had to sign a release form that I wouldn't get any royalties or whatever. I think I got a check for like $100 something or whatever it was. It was nothing for my few minutes of nationwide fame. But I'm gonna show the video, so y'all watch the video, rock with your boy, and I'll catch you after the video's over.
First, watch as Mother Nature launches its own desert storm in western Iraq. You're watching Full Force Nature. The town of Al-Asad in Iraq's western desert is home to Iraq's second largest military airbase. Extreme heat and dry winds are common. Soldiers stationed here are rarely surprised by the elements. But nothing prepared them for this.
We're about to get drowned by the sand. God!
A massive sandstorm swarms the outer edge of town.
When I heard the sandstorms, I just thought a little dust, but you know, when you see a wall of dust and it stretches as high as you can see and wide as ever, it stops you in your tracks.
Army Sergeant Aking Landy is a transportation management coordinator about to report for duty.
It seemed like any other day of the week where it was hot, usually over 100 degrees, but when we came out of the tent, we noticed the clouds looked kind of different. We thought, wow, it's about to rain real hard. This is going to be the hardest rain we ever saw. And the closer we got to work, the color actually changes. That's not a cloud, that's dust. That was a wall of dust.
Stretching 80 miles wide and 5,000 feet into the air, its magnitude takes everyone by surprise.
Look at that! Yo, it's coming!
At 6:45 p.m., Al-Asad is swallowed by a swirling cloud of sand and dust that quickly strips the town of daylight.
It's orange out here! Look at this!
It turned the whole sky black.
Keep in mind, it was just daylight out here. This is unreal. It was just daylight! You can taste the dirt in the air. This is crazy.
Oh, my eye.
You really couldn't see far. You could barely see your hand in front of your face. You could feel the grittiness from the dust in the air. So I just put a t-shirt over my face.
After 45 minutes, the storm passes, leaving a thick blanket of sand.
Maybe an inch or two deep on everything. Your tent, your clothes, there's dust everywhere. I know there were a lot of people emailing saying that's fake, somebody doctored the photo up, but it's definitely real. It's definitely real.
So yeah, there you have it. My television debut on Full Force Nature. It was fun. It was exciting. That that moment, that little moment in time for me was everything. When I tell you it was everything, it was everything. It made me want to be on TV. I will tell you that I had a couple of times when we were on state active duty orders here in Maryland for snowstorms. We ran into news crews. I remember one of them was Mindy Becerra. I can't remember who it was the other time, but from those moments, I always wanted to be on TV. Always wanted to be in front of a camera, even though I'm shy. It's funny. But yeah, that was my moment on TV. And ironically, so I went to Iraq 04, 05. That aired in 06. 04, 05. That aired early 06. So when I started working at Department of Energy in late 06, probably around the middle or the end of 2007, one of the guys came up to me and said, "Hey, yo, I saw you on TV." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You was on the show Full Force Nature, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "What? They still showing that?" Yeah, so it's funny because it's like, you know, I burnt copies of the CD that they sent me. I passed it out to my friends. And then, you know, now computers don't have CD drives anymore. So it's like, yo, that's a bummer. So then I got the CD somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So I was online one day and I saw the show Full Force Nature. So I looked up the episode that I was on and I found it. I found it. But I'm going to leave the link to the show in the description so you can watch the whole show if you want to watch the whole show. But I hope that you enjoyed my television debut. As you can see from that video, I was a lot slimmer in the face, a lot less gray. I had a whole head full of hair. I had a hairline. But the one thing that I noticed in that video that I notice I always do now is my tongue. It goes from one side of my mouth to the other. I don't know why I do that involuntary tongue movement. I think it's funny that I do that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my moment on TV and see why, you know, even though I'm shy and I don't like to be in front of the camera, you can see why I like to be in front of the camera. I know it's an oxymoron. It's you know, it's a contradiction, whatever the case may be. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, drop me a comment down below. Just comment and let's roll with it. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace, peace, peace.